Chapter 10. Trade Talks and First Contact. Jay rolled his steampunk, self-balancing scooter into Conference Room Alpha on Station 1, the brass fixtures and copper tubing gleaming under the overhead lights. The sight of him gliding in on what looked like something from a Victorian's inventor's workshop broke the tension in the room considerably. "Gentlemen, ladies," Jay said, dismounting with practiced ease, "my apologies for being late. Traffic was bad in the corridors." Dr. Jackson, easily identifiable by the neat scar across his left temple where the assassin's bullet had blown his brains out, smiled slightly. "Administrator Kwaramba, thank you for joining us. We were just beginning discussions about establishing formal trade relations." Jay took his seat next to Jack, noting the assembled dignitaries: President Ivanka Trump from the United States, Chancellor Mueller from the European Union, Prime Minister Singh representing the Pacific Alliance, and a half-dozen other leaders who'd made the journey up from Earth. President Trump leaned forward, her diplomatic smile not quite reaching her eyes. "Dr. Jackson, we appreciate your willingness to discuss these matters. Our first concern is currency exchange. We propose a floating exchange rate based on the USD. 1 credit equals 1 ounce of silver. We already have that. Fixed rate, no fluctuation. We already have a banking facility on Future World that interfaces with terrestrial financial institutions. Any station resident who wishes to return to Earth receives a debit card with their credit balance converted at that rate to whatever currency is required. It's all digital and therefore seamless." Chancellor Mueller consulted her tablet. "That seems inflexible. Modern economies require adaptive currency mechanisms." "Modern economies," Russell interjected from his position beside Jack, "also require scarcity. Our post-scarcity society operates on different principles." Prime Minister Singh shifted uncomfortably. "Speaking of scarcity, food security must be a concern for your growing population. We'd like to discuss agricultural trade agreements." Dr. Jackson gestured toward the wall display, which lit up with images of Station 2's hydroponic facilities. "This is Station 2. Station 1's hydroponic facilities are pretty much the same. We appreciate the offer, but our agricultural needs are more than fully met. Hydroponic yields per square meter exceed terrestrial farming by factors of 10 to 30 depending on the crop. No soil depletion, no weather dependencies, no pesticides required. Perhaps you would like to study our tech." "What about protein?" President Trump pressed. "Livestock, dairy products." "Cellular agriculture," Jay said, pulling up another display. "We grow meat directly from cloned cells. No animals slaughtered, no environmental impact. In other words, no cow farts. Perfect nutritional control. A hamburger that's never seen a cow, milk and cheeses that's never seen a dairy farm, chicken that is as succulent as anything farm-based. The technology has been perfected for many years now. You're welcome to tour the hydroponics and bioreactor decks at your leisure." The Earth leaders exchanged glances that ranged from frustrated to amazed. "Frankenmeats?" said Mueller derisively. "Madam Chancellor, you obviously subscribe to propaganda. Let me ask you, do you believe breakfast is the most important meal of the day?" "Of course, everyone knows that." "My good lady, that idiom was invented by Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda, to sell more bacon." "Manufactured goods, then," Chancellor Mueller tried. "Surely you need electronics, vehicles, consumer products." Our fabrication facilities can produce anything we need. Molecular 3D printing, precision manufacturing, zero-waste production. The only thing we can't make is time. President Singh rubbed his temples. Then what do you need from Earth? Nothing, Dr. Jackson said simply. This is why we're prepared to offer you things instead. He stood and leaned over to the conference table's center, placing there a small device no larger than a pencil eraser. Micro-camera transmitter, quarter-inch cylinder, full high-definition video and audio, quantum encrypted transmission, which means it can't be intercepted or hacked, and it has indefinite battery life through ambient energy harvesting and nuclear batteries. Incidentally, we're also way ahead of you on, and we're willing to share. The leaders leaned forward, studying the tiny device. Your intelligence agencies and police forces will find these useful. 1,000 units for 1 ounce of silver. We also have medical nanobots that cure cancer, heart disease, alcoholism, diabetes, and any other disease you can think of. The therapy is delivered via candy bars. We've already started distribution through retail stores, and I expect that within a couple of months, your medical and pharmaceutical institutions will start feeling the effect.
Chancellor Mueller was incensed. You can't do that. You need regulatory approval. Arrest me. You'll be hard-pressed to prove any harm, and that's what regulatory oversight is supposed to be about, isn't it? And you are welcome to have one of those bars, should you wish. We also have atmospheric processors for pollution control, carbon dioxide removal and such, and 80% efficient solar panels for clean energy. I'm sure the energy sector will love me for that. And we're developing space cars for personal use. All of these things are currently available and priced in silver. The showrooms are on Future World. You are declaring war on us. Actually not. You declared war on us, me. He pointed to the scar on the side of his head. I'm just reacting. And I didn't shoot any of you in the head. Why precious metals? You'll collapse the world's economic systems, Chancellor Mueller asked. If you have post-scarcity technology, why do this? He pointed to his scar again. Jack answered, because precious metals are finite and universally valued. They're useful for certain manufacturing processes, and they hold value across cultures and centuries, even very diverse, even alien cultures. The temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. Alien cultures, President Trump's voice was carefully controlled. Dr. Jackson smiled broadly, the expression transforming his usually serious face. I'm sure she meant cultures alien to each other on Earth, as she has no knowledge of what I'm getting ready to announce. 3 days ago, we established first contact with a coalition of 12 spacefaring species and established cultural exchange protocols at their request. Jay felt his own jaw drop. This was news to him, too. Their vessel will arrive in approximately 1 month, Dr. Jackson continued, as if he was discussing the weather. 12 groups of representatives from 12 different worlds, what popular culture has termed Greys, Nordics, Reptilians, Pleiadians, Insectoids, Little Green Men, Blues, Tall Whites, Hybrids, Draconians, Anunnaki, and Furlings. Prime Minister Singh looked like he was having trouble breathing. This is not a joke. You're serious. Completely serious. They've been observing Earth for quite a while, waiting for humanity to develop space-based infrastructure and demonstrate we could function as a unified species rather than a collection of warring tribes. Chancellor Mueller's diplomatic training kicked in, and they chose to contact you rather than Earth governments because, Dr. Jackson said, we actually achieved unity. No nations, no borders, no military forces, no working-class slave-based economics. We represent what humanity can become. President Trump stood up abruptly. This is, she caught herself before saying outrageous. This changes everything, every treaty, every alliance, every strategic assumption. Indeed it does. President Reagan said it aptly. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And I agree with that, which is why you're all invited to participate in the cultural exchange, not as representatives of Earth's governments, but as representatives of humanity. Consider it an opportunity, unprecedented in history. Jay found his voice. Dr. Jackson, when were you planning to mention this to the administrators? Administrator Kwaramba, Administrator Quinn, consider yourselves briefed. The exchange will take place on Station 1, and security protocols will need to be established. I trust you'll coordinate with your appropriate departments. Jack was already pulling up her scheduling interface. 1 month isn't much time to prepare facilities for 12 different species, with potentially 12 different environmental requirements. Their vessel is equipped with life support, as needed. Though some of our guests do prefer specific atmospheric mixtures, I'll provide detailed requirements tomorrow. There aren't any, as their excursions are planned to be brief, and they have their own life support equipment. The Earth leaders sat in stunned silence. Finally, Chancellor Mueller spoke. How do our governments prepare for this? Start thinking beyond national interests, Jay suggested. Start thinking about humanity as a single species, taking its first steps into a larger universe. Because whether you participate or not, that's what's happening. Dr. Jackson gathered his materials. Purchase agreements are available for review and signature. The microtransmitters are ready for immediate delivery upon payment. And I suggest you all prepare very carefully for what you're going to say when you meet beings who've been watching human civilization develop for longer than recorded history. As the Earth leaders filed out, their faces ranging from pale to flush, Jay approached Dr. Jackson. Any other small details you'd like to share? Maybe you've solved faster-than-light travel, discovered the meaning of life.
Dr. Jackson's scarred face crinkled with amusement. Administrator, if I told you everything at once, where would be the fun in that? Once we are in a secure location, I'll give you the full brief. Jay glanced at his steampunk, self-balancing scooter, then back at the man who'd just casually announced first contact with alien civilizations. I think I need to upgrade my transportation. This thing suddenly feels woefully inadequate for greeting alien ambassadors. Don't underestimate the power of making a memorable first impression, Dr. Jackson said. After all, they're probably expecting us to arrive wearing diapers. A Victorian-era personal transport device might be exactly the kind of refreshing surprise that starts a good conversation. As Jay rode his scooter back toward the shuttle bay, he realized that his morning complaints about traffic in the corridors were going to seem quaint very, very soon. Stay on this station for a while. Connie will tell you where to meet me, Dr. Jackson called after him.
These videos are time-consuming and a bit difficult to make. I would prefer if you told me now that you think they're crap. If not, then please at least hit the thumbs down button. Thank you. If you like the videos, please tell me, and tell me how to improve them. I'm just one guy, and I often get wrapped up in the technical details. I miss a lot of stuff, I'm sure. Fresh eyes see what I miss, so please tell me. At least hit the like button. And if you're so inclined, please hit the share button. Thank you.